All right. Views across the world. How are we doing? We got the Swaggy Sports Podcast, episode 3, NFL Talk. Got some great guests with me today. Love seeing their pretty faces. Pedro Angeli, Anthony Sassini, Shane Simpson, Taj DeFrance, and our new guest today, a very good friend of ours, Mr. Daniel DTM Slicer.
Dolja.
The list goes on. Mr. Daniel Solomon.
Mr.
About to get right to it. We about to get right to it. First thing we're going to talk about, first topic, the Ravens versus Patriots game last week. Now I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you that rundown. Sunday night, I'm sorry. Ravens, then 6-2. New England at that time, 3-5. Lamar. Now, mind you, it was in that Bill Belichick monsoon. It was rainy.
Not all game.
Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft do control the weather in Foxborough.
Easily.
Hey, it's not the only time they've cheated, so.
There's some
I mean,
that's a whole other podcast. That's a whole other podcast.
Hey.
Lamar, 24 for 34. Weather under that condition, 249 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 interception. He had 11 carries for 55 yards, no tutters. You would expect in the rain, probably run the ball a little more in the game plan, but
They ain't put up enough points.
Willie Snead, 5 catches, 64 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's what popped out on offensively for me for Ravens. Cam Newton, 13 for 17, 118 yards in the air, 1 touchdown. We have Damian Harris, 22 carries, 121 yards, no touchdowns. Right?
Bama boy.
New England had 10 drives that game. Baltimore had 9. Baltimore had 32 minutes and 34 seconds of possession. New England had 27 and 36 seconds. My first question is, which team was it more a must-win game, if that makes sense? Which team was it more of a must-win game for them? And whoever wants to go first can go first with that. Let me hear what you got.
I'll shoot. All right, I say it's clearly a bigger loss for the Ravens. They're now sitting at 6-3. They likely have, and there's 6 other teams that are 6-3 in the AFC, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
There's likely no chance they win their division. The Steelers are going to win the division, and a costly loss like that. I know it's mid-season, but every game is a big game,
Right.
and they got to win the ones they're supposed to win. So it's a bigger
Especially
loss.
in this season.
It hurts them, especially in this season.
Especially in this season. It feels like, obviously you have your blowouts here and there, but every game is like, it feels like a very any given Sunday moment for every game, like nothing's promised for some reason in this season. But who wants to go next off of that?
I got it.
Who had more of a must-win game?
I'm going the opposite direction. I get where Taj is coming from, but for the Patriots, that's a must-win. I mean, every game for them is a must-win now if they want to make the playoffs. But my biggest takeaways from that game for both sides is, one, the Ravens, if they do make the playoffs, they're going to do absolutely nothing because they have no offense. Like, it just showed how good Lamar was last year. Hollywood Brown, hate to say it about a Broward boy, but he cannot be wide receiver 1.
Steve, you needed him.
Yeah, man. Viewers across the world, last week I needed a crucial win in our fantasy game to remain first place in our seeding on our division. I'm sorry, and it came down to Hollywood. I gave him a call. I gave Hollywood the call. I'm like, come on, man. I need 15. I need 15. Get what you need to get. I know it's raining. I know what you need to. But he didn't come through, and that's okay. But
he didn't show up, and I had to give him that L.
But I hear you. Ooh,
the weather.
Whoever's watching this game, KYLER's visor right now. KYLER's visor.
The goal boy.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah.
In all black.
Also, shout out to Damian Harris. He definitely proved that he's RB1 in the Patriots system.
Mm-hmm.
Bama boy, he's nice. And shout out to J.C. Jackson too. leading the league in picks. That
Nice.
dude's
Yeah.
tough.
And keep him off the Pro Ball list so he doesn't leave Foxborough. Keep him off that list so he doesn't sign a max somewhere. Leading the league in interceptions, top 3 in PBUs. Out of nowhere, that guy's a beast.
Beast.
So to feed off of Shane's point, I'm gonna say I would agree that it was a must-win for the Patriots, and even more so for the Patriots, Cam Newton.
Yeah.
You know, he's had a very tough season up to this point. We all know Bill Belichick has very little patience when it comes to anything related to football, and especially losing. And, you know, being in the current situation that they're in, you know, I feel as if Cam didn't win in the way that they won this last week. He's looking at Stidham again.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's not good for Cam.
Anyone else want to add on? Anyone else?
I agree with that point that it was definitely a must-win for Cam, but I think more so it was a must-win for Baltimore as far as an AFC North standpoint.
Right.
Right.
They drop this game, they have no chance of winning the division now. You win that game, you get to play the Steelers 8:00 on Thanksgiving, and the Steelers still have to play Buffalo, and then it's a toss-up.
Make things a little interesting.
You have no chance now.
Forget the division for Baltimore, and you look at the AFC East. It's up for grabs. Miami is at the top. It's up for grabs. If they lose that game, they go to 3-6, and you can forget the wild card. That division, the AFC, it's wide open. You got the Buffalo Bills, you got Miami Dolphins, and the Patriots are right there. They tweak the Jets.
Patriots ain't in there,
and they're right back in the division race.
Let me hear.
So you better tell that boy.
Yeah, man, it's
they out of
Talk
there.
to me. Let me. With this loss, because this kind of leads into the next question in a sense.
Yeah.
With this loss, does Baltimore playoff chances become more slim?
Certainly.
Right.
I mean, from a wild card standpoint, like Taj said, so many 6-3 teams in the AFC. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for teams to get into the wild card this year.
Even with the extra playoff team.
Right. Isn't it crazy how, like, it could just be me, but ironic. It's just everything's so competitive right now. It's so competitive. You got teams that are doing substantially well, and then you just have teams, well, I mean, you got your NFCs, but, like, then you have some teams that are doing bad. You have some teams that are doing substantially bad. But, you know how that goes. Let me see. Next question.
Let me stop you right there.
Talk to me.
I'm looking at the Baltimore's upcoming schedule right now.
Yes, their upcoming schedule is tough.
I mean, yeah, it's tough with Tennessee and Pittsburgh, but after that, the next 3 out of 4, you got the Cowboys at Cleveland.
Yep.
And you got the Jaguars and the Giants.
Yep.
But Cleveland also has the easier strength of schedule. So do the Raiders, who are also sitting at 6-3.
Cleveland's remaining schedule are the Eagles, Jags, Titans, Ravens, Giants, Jets, and Steelers.
I like the Raiders in that John Gruden offense.
Yeah. I like what they got cooking up over there.
Sliders.
I like that.
They're cooking up sliders. And like we said one time, Derek Carr has something to prove. He's got that big chip on his shoulder right now, and obviously you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I got that.
Let's go into this next question. Who is your QB1? If you were the general manager of a team, and it's like, okay, we got some receivers on this squad. We got to find somebody that'll get us the ball. Our offensive scheme. We need a dual threat QB. Who are you taking? The current KYLER of 2020 or MVP Action Jackson 2019?
Trust.
Big trust.
Big. And who wants to go first? I don't want to go first. I want to hear what you guys got.
No, it don't matter.
I'll start it up.
Yeah.
That's a tough question. I mean, KYLER's doing his thing right now. I saw today he's on pace for 4,000 in the air and 1,000 on the ground, which has never been done before.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Lamar last year pretty much is paving the way to change the quarterback position in the NFL.
Yeah.
And unfortunately this year Lamar's not playing as well. But I don't think this year is an accurate representation of the player that he is. I think he's gonna bounce back in the next few years. And honestly, today I'm taking Lamar because what is it, week 9? Need a little bit more. I need to see playoffs. I need a little bit more. And Lamar's got to prove himself in the playoffs too, but I still need a little bit more out of Kyler Murray before I take him over Lamar.
Okay. Before I get into a next opinion, let me read off some stats. He had a 66.08 completion percentage, 3,127 passing yards, 36 touchdowns in the air to
Touchdown leader.
six picks. Touchdown
First
leader.
in the league.
Rushing, 176 carries, 1,206 yards. That man Mike Vick had to call him up and said, "Go be great." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
8.
Big trust season. Now let me run over to Mr. Murray. So far this season, 9 games, 68.17 percentage. We got 2,375 yards passing. We have 17 touchdowns in the air to 8 picks with a 98.2 passer rating so far. And he's about to play against the Seahawks. But and we also have so far 87 rushing attempts, 604 yards running, 10 touchdowns, only 2 fumbles. Only 2. So just to put that in the air, who would like to go after that?
I mean, Shane's mic is probably busted again, so Anthony will go because I'm siding with Shane. I'm gonna say I would rather have Kyler Murray. He is the first player in NFL history to have both a running and passing touchdown over his last 5 games. There's 5 games in a row, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. You know, and you look at the application of a game of a guy like Kyler Murray, and to me, that's just way more applicable in today's football than that of a Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you take a look at his stats now, even though it's young, season-wise, I mean, he's still on pace to destroy Lamar's season last year. And granted, he does have a better receiving core. His scheme is more oriented for passes and for him to get the ball downfield. But, I mean, all things considered, the guy could just do it all. And I had very little respect. Not little, but I didn't think Kyler Murray was going to perform and play the way he's playing right now.
Yeah.
And if NFL defensive coordinators were to figure him out, I feel as if they'd have a pretty good idea of how to do that by now. And, you know, the guy's just getting it done. So I'm taking Kyler.
Heard you. Who would like to go next?
I got you. Going off what she said, I also wasn't very high on Kyler Murray. He's proved me wrong. He earned my respect. I'm going to say that. He's got 10 rushing touchdowns. That's crazy. But he's also no statistical leader in any passing category. None. At least MVP Lamar, mind you, the second unanimous MVP in NFL history. He was Superman last year. I don't know if you guys forget how good he was, and watching him and what he brought to the field, he was beating teams. He was beating teams.
Mm-hmm.
He is absolutely, I'd say he was an MVP. I mean, he's better than Kyler Murray is right now. I would take him maybe by the end of the year. My opinion will change, but honestly, I doubt it. I think Lamar, absolutely, I take him over Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's been doing great. Don't get me wrong. He's been absolutely balling. But his scheme, what he has around him, is just all around better than what Lamar had. And he still made a lot shake with it.
100%.
Could have went for 4,000 passing had he had D-Hop out there. Maybe he would have been the first 4,000 passing and 1,000 rushing. But
Exactly. And that's the thing,
I hear
too.
you there.
It's like Lamar hasn't had the weapons yet to really showcase his arm.
yeah,
He's got no possession receiver.
got none.
Who would like to go next?
Taj hit on the head, man. You know, there's no doubt Kyler Murray's playing at an MVP caliber right now. You know, what he's done has been, you know, spectacular under Cliff Kingsbury's offense. It's been a great scheme.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Lamar Jackson, I think his best football is still ahead of him. So if you're going to ask me who I'm going to build a franchise around, it's Lamar Jackson. But no doubt, what Kyler Murray has done this season has been nothing short of spectacular.
I would agree with that for sure. He is definitely, him and D-Hop are definitely creating something special. I love to see it. I know D. Watson does not love to see it, you know, but like
I hate
it's
to
just
see it for him.
I hate to see it for D. Watson because I respect him as a
D-Wot.
player a lot. But it's just they are sliding on them sliders like Roddy Ricch for sure. Like they are definitely doing what they need to do.
Kyler don't have D-Hop. We're not even having this conversation.
Yeah,
I don't
We
know.
might be talking about we could be talking to Deshaun Watson.
Heard you.
Our
Our next topic. The crib.
Talk to me.
Play of the week. And just a little reminder on how that goes. We just reminisce about any defensive. Ooh. DTM showed me that football today. He said it's signed by London Fletcher, Santana Moss, Jason Campball.
That's your childhood right there.
That's
hail to the football team.
Come on, man. That I said DTM. I need it. I'll flight the one way. Take the one way to get that thing. That's something for me. But crib play of the week, we talk about defensive special team sliders where they just do whatever it takes to get to that end zone. A couple of us have one that they would like to talk about. I'm gonna have to ask Taj to go first.
I'm gonna rock Jaguars. Keenan Cole
Okay.
took it to the crib.
Crib.
Took it to the crib. Never heard of this guy before. He had 2 touchdowns in the game, but he took that thing. Sliding. Come up to the punter, hitting with the
Yeah.
Said, oh.
Yeah.
Krill.
Heard you.
Yeah, he didn't have to do the punter like that.
He did the punter.
He's got a family. He's got a family.
Oh my goodness. I gotta go Cordell Patterson. They will
What's
never
that, number 8?
That'll never be
Record breaker.
Yeah. He's a beast.
Number 8.
He's a beast. You
Yeah.
gotta tip your hat for Mr. Hester. Obviously, there's no one will ever be like him. But
No.
Mr. Patterson, he's definitely a slider.
That's all.
But it was a 7-6 game going into the second half that game. Vikings were up. Started the second half. Dan Bailey, Minnesota kicker, tees it up. He gets it 5 yards deep. I mean, me personally, I'm game playing, don't kick it to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. Let's just save one just in case. You never know how it goes with people like that. Just don't kick him the ball.
Especially the Bears who don't have an offense.
Exactly.
Don't kick him the ball. Lock it on the screen. Gotta love it for the bust downs.
Let me see what he's about to do.
Oh, my goodness. He catches it 5 yards into the end zone. I don't know why they kicked him the ball. He basically goes untouched. Like he follows his blockers. Dan Bailey, he just whiffs it.
Yeah.
And he was throwing the deuces up by the 26. He was throwing the deuces up by the 26. Like, smell ya. It was crazy. That was my crib play of the week. It had to be. Anyone else have another one?
I was gonna side with you and say Cordell,
Yeah.
but if I had to choose between the two, which to me was more crib worthy, I'd have to go with that Jacksonville game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I was in the same boat. I was like, who is this man?
That was something.
Just took it right up the middle, one cut.
Yeah.
Hit him with the big Tay stutter.
The big Tay.
The
patented big Tay
the Baltimore
stutter.
native Tavon Austin.
Yeah.
You already know.
That boy stuttering.
Big Tay. You know how it goes. But that kind of leads into our next topic, Chi, for me at least. Next topic, most surprising game for you last week. A lot of games went close. I wrote down a couple for different games, but I got to pick Packers versus Jags. I got to pick that game. It was the 24-20 game with a Green Bay win, as probably expected,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to talk about your pack for a little bit, DTM. You're going to have to hear me out. Go ahead, show us up.
Jags.
Yeah, talk to him.
But it was a surprising game for me because Packers had 2 scoreless quarters, first quarter and the third quarter. So they went scoreless. They were down 3-0 in the first against the Jags. Any given Sunday, but you know what I'm saying? Against
practice squad looking defense though.
Rodgers stats.
No quarterback.
Rodgers had 325 passing yards, 2 touchdowns in the air. He had 1 pick, though. Then he had 1 rushing touchdown. But I think it was very critical for them and eye-opening that Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, they combined for 76 yards combined.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
He's been slowing down.
No tutters from the both of them. None. And we
got to be able to run the ball in the
touchdown
NFL.
DK just now, Chi. Touchdown DK.
A big boxer. Let's go.
Yeah, I need you to beat Shane.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We gonna get it done.
And Paul, you need to beat Steve.
Hold on
Yeah.
now.
I need some more.
We're gonna have to get. Lockett's gonna keep getting his touches tonight. You know how that goes.
Oh, he definitely is.
Does. But that was a very surprising game for me. Let me talk about Mr. Jake Luton. First NFL career start. 18 for 35, 169, one touchdown. You know? I mean, the Packers started off surprisingly slow, considering they were playing the Jazz, but the Jazz. I've been playing too much 2K. I just swept them in
Yeah,
2K21.
too much NBA.
And we'll get into that next episode. But they were playing I just felt like they should have really steamrolled the Jags. What you guys got? Most surprising game for you from last week? What you got?
Hold up.
Paul,
First and
go
foremost,
ahead,
go
Dan.
ahead, TG.
No disrespect, Paul, to your Steelers, but I thought the Bengals were going to open some eyes this past Sunday, and it just didn't happen. You look at the way that Joe Burrow's been playing, what he's been able to do from a production standpoint, and what's been a dismal offense over the past 6 seasons for the Cincinnati Bengals, and even much longer than that. And you combine that coming off a Dallas game in which they had success against that defense that a lot of teams haven't up to this point. You talk about a trap game. I think that embodies every bit of that. And the Bengals upset the Titans too. So I thought they were going to keep it a lot closer than they did. For the Steelers to blow it open like they did, I was surprised.
I agree with you. I mean, I said early in the week, I was like, trap game. I go, this is trap game. But the problem remains with the Bengals. They have these young receivers emerging, and it's looking promising. But you need to protect your young quarterback because it's somebody who's not used to going through the complex read progression, and if you don't protect him and he can't see the field, then it becomes a problem ultimately. But I agree with what you said. Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Swag, I'm going back to the question before that. You're talking about play of the week. I'm going with my dog Rojo, 98 yards to the crib in a blowout game.
Heard you.
Good. But most surprising, I'm going to go with a week ago from tonight, Thursday Night Football. The Colts came to play division matchup with the Titans. I mean, that defense, Leonard is a beast. Frank Reich?
Yeah.
He's an Eagles Super Bowl.
He's my coach of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll give it to Mike Tomlin, but he's been doing his thing for a decade now, but now
Forever.
You got Cliff Kingsbury in the conversation too, but Frank Reich has that team looking good. I mean, veteran presence with Phillip Rivers in the pocket. I mean, that's gonna do wonders. But that defense with Xavier Rhodes, Leonard, Justin Houston, pass rush, they shut down Derrick Henry, and that was hands down, most surprising team of the week.
I love that DTM. The Colts, I start them on my defense for the most part. In fantasy, they can play. I'm a big studier of linebackers in the league. I used to play linebacker. That Darius Leonard, he's a maniac, just like he calls himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He flies around the field. He flies around the field, talking, yelling, energetic. And people feed off that on that field. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, this dude's ready to roll. I'm behind this guy for sure. And let's run through a brick wall together. You know what I'm saying? And he's leading something very, very powerful with that Colts defense, I would say.
Yeah, I know Taj is familiar. I know Reich was, I think he was the OC with the Eagles when they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
Hurts to lose him.
Yeah.
He's doing great. I'd rather have him than Doug right now, the way things are shaking out.
Hey,
But
that's for another time. That's for another time.
That's for another podcast. That's for another podcast. We're dropping like flies for you guys, viewers.
I know.
I'm sorry, like that.
It looked like a Zoom class.
It is looking like a Zoom class. I'm getting excuses left and right, like the professor. But let's go into the next topic. Most impressive player for you last week. Most impressive player for you.
I'll go.
You want to go, Taji? You got it, babe.
I'll go. Ronald Jones, USC product. So shout out to him. You already know. After 3 games under 35 yards, with the 2-back system with Leonard Fournette looking like it was going to hurt his production a lot, he comes out and goes for 192 yards on 23 carries and a touchdown. And DTM mentioned, the 98-yard touchdown run. He just had a big game. He was in need of a big game. We'll see if that changes how they use him moving forward.
Yeah.
I think he should be the lead back the way he's played this year. Sadly,
Yeah,
I
don't
dropped
say
him off
that.
my
Don't say that
fantasy
for the
team this
don't
week.
say that for the bust downs though, because I'm starting
I
Leonard.
know.
I'm
Sadly,
starting
I
Leonard.
dropped him. I dropped Rojo. He was struggling.
You dropped Rojo?
Dropped him. He was going 3 straight games with doing nothing for me. I thought it was over for him. I thought it was gonna
Oh yeah,
cool
bro.
down.
That reminds me because I saw the tote and I was like, oh my gosh, is Tosh starting him? But you weren't. Yep. So but you still beat me. You still beat me. But
Close one.
I'll go next. This might be a little biased here, but hey.
Gary.
Alex Smith versus Lions. He was my most impressive player for me last week. Now, hear me out about this.
No touchdowns.
Let me talk.
I'm just throwing that out there. Go ahead. Talk your talk.
He impressed my guys. He impressed me.
Talk your talk.
Alex Smith versus the Lions. 38 for 55. That's a career high for him. Second game starting since the injury. League high last week. 390 yards, career high. He showed me a lot, considering the fact that we usually don't. We needed some touchdowns, obviously, but he was able to get the ball down the field for us for a majority of our drives. We had too many turnovers. You can't win games with too many turnovers. And we have a turnover bug right now for some reason. I'm not sure why. But he was getting the ball down the field for us. He showed me purpose. He proved me that he has something to prove. You know what I'm saying? He's no pushover right now. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, myself included, sometimes wonder why Simba's not behind, you know what I'm saying? So he showed me something like, hold on, let me see what I'm good for something. I got purpose, like gonna, you know, like we're gonna get it. I'm gonna see what I'm good for.
I know my purpose.
European God. All right. Who's next?
Swag, off that note, how many yards did he throw for? Was it
390.
Wow.
Yeah, he was airing that thing out.
And it was a crazy game because we were down 24-3. We're down 24-3, and Antonio Gibson pops for 2 tutters. You know what I'm saying? Scary Terry had a bad fumble, but he was catching them. He had
a big game.
And it was crazy because he got a lot of PI calls on that game-winning drive to where it was like, but like but I'll take them. You know what I'm saying? But you know, just somehow it just doesn't flip your coin the right way. But like what do you got, DTM? Your most impressive player from last week?
Honestly, I gotta give it to the rookie. It's all about the rookies this year. James Robinson has been my dog. Consistent week in, week out. I mean, showing up. I mean, yeah, the Packers defense is going to, they're susceptible to the run and whatnot. But week in, week out. Also, special shout out to my boy T. Higgins showing out. I mean, less than a year ago, he and Joe Burrow were balling in the national championship.
Yeah.
And I see that connection, and that's why I'm like, okay, I think some heads are starting to turn.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, fumble on the play, Taj. Yay! I think Moore got it. It was a fumble on the snap under center.
They better not charge it to Russ. That's all I gotta say.
I think they got the ball back.
For me, I mean, Guy was having a good year. Maybe not as good as last year, but I thought this week played really well. Made the most out of his carries. I'm gonna go Josh Jacobs, 112 on the ground, 2 touchdowns. I think he had a great week. And that's what they needed to do against the Broncos, the 2-7 Broncos, and he had a great game.
And you dropped him from your fantasy team.
I dropped him from my fantasy team. I traded him, didn't I?
Let's not get about that, right? Because there were some rumors. Yeah, that's a sensitive subject. One thing I will say, though, Josh Jacobs, every time that he scores a touchdown, Raiders win. It's probably something about the last name, but I don't know. That may be a little biased. Let's see what we got here for next week's schedule. Ooh, we got a guest coming back in.
You're only going to give the Cardinals offense 2 touchdowns against a decimated Seattle's defense missing their top 2 cover guys?
Welcome back, Mr. Cicini, to the podcast.
Looking for revenge.
Love it. I love it. Way to come back with it. I love it. Chi, who do you have winning this game? And I need a score too.
Okay, I do have the Seahawks, but I have the end score being 37 to 31.
Okay.
Will come out on top, and he will keep forcing the ball to DK Metcalf.
And Tyler
Speaking
Lockett.
into existence.
And
You
Tyler
need a
Lockett.
big game from Russ. You need a big game from Lockett. You need a big game from DK. Let's rock.
Let's speak it into existence. All right, next game for prediction.
That's fine. I was just wondering if that was said.
Never
Because, yeah, never trust him.
Like Albert Einstein. We got
All right,
Steelers at Jacksonville. Steelers at Jacksonville. Who wants to go first?
We all know. We all got the same answer, Steelers.
Steelers, but with a horrendously slow start in the first half.
Yeah.
I bet money on that.
DTM, you're not feeling the Jacksonville upset?
I think they cover. What is it, 10.5?
I'm not sure exactly, but we
that
can't.
sounds about right.
We can get on that later on,
I
and
think they cover.
Let me see.
we can definitely cover it. So we all have Steelers that were all around the board, all around the union.
Yeah.
Okay. We have the Battle of the Cats. The Battle of the Cats. Lions at Panthers. Lions at Panthers. What do you guys got? I'm not going first. DTM Detroit.
Give me Detroit. I mean, no McCaffrey. I don't know what the status is on Mike Davis. I don't even know what the status is on Teddy Bridgewater. But this is a depleted Carolina team.
Yeah. I think it was the knee for Teddy Bridgewater. And I don't think he's going to end up playing. And then it was the shoulder for my guy C-Mac on the bus downs. He's not going to play. So they're definitely hitting a little injury fevers for some reason.
But don't get me wrong, Robbie Anderson will turn up. So will
DJ Moore, Maryland product. You already know the deal. He's on my my other fantasy team. What you guys got? Battle of the Cats.
I want the Panthers, and if Teddy Bridgewater can't go, I got PJ Walker sliding this week. First,
Okay.
I like that confidence.
Although it will be Will Greer. It won't be Walker. It will be Will Greer, a Mountaineer.
What's Will Greer about to do?
What's he good for?
Cannon on.
Not a whole lot. But it will be enough to win the football game because I don't think DeAndre Swift will play this week. Concussion protocol. The only rookie with over 250 rushing and receiving yards. A huge part of that Lions offense in these last weeks. And, without that added dimension, I don't think offensively they have the firepower to get what they need to get done. So I'm going to go Panthers. Keep pounding.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that. I think I have Panthers as well. I got Panthers. I'm gonna go Panthers as well. Whoever ends up as QB, they'll get the job done. Next game. Well, it's a little interesting. Patriots at Texans. What you thinking there? Pedro, what are you thinking there? Patriots at Texans.
Bill's not going to drop this one. I think Cam's going to build off the week that he had against the Ravens, and I think they're going to get another win and maybe start rolling, but I think it's good momentum off last week's game.
Okay. Chi, I'm looking at you feeling.
This is tough because, the Patriots are coming off a good little win. I mean, they're not going to be able to come in, I don't think, with that revised game plan they used against the Ravens and have that same success. At the same time, Deshaun Watson he's got to win one here soon.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, your number one threat should be blanketed by Jesse Jackson. So as much as this pains me to say, can't bet against Bill.
Gotcha. Hey man, that's the Naptown Bust Down playbook. Come on. I'm sorry, Taj. What you got here next? Patriots, Texans.
Bill just came out with a big win against the Ravens. They're gonna keep rolling. They're gonna beat them. Sorry, Deshaun. I'd love to see you ball out, but
I hear you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it was so tough for me.
You know what? I feel confident in D Watson this week. I think at the same time it hurts seeing D Hop doing what he's doing. I think it's also putting a chip on his shoulder where it's like, yes, I need him. Like, who wouldn't want D Hop? But I got to figure something out on my own, prove my worth, because he did just get signed, and I know what he's good for. He was a ridiculous. They had the lead, no excuse, but like they played against a ridiculous Chiefs team last year. Bill O'Brien kind of just busted it wide open for them, and just
9+10.
it was
They should
crazy.
have been off the stick.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll go DTM. Patriots, Texans. Patriots, Texans. What you got?
I'm going with the Pats in this one. Houston, I mean, they do not do well stopping the run. Patriots are a team that runs more than any other team in the league. I think they're going to execute that game plan, with Damian Harris, Rex Burkhead, and Cam Newton. I think he has a big, big day.
I hear you. I hear you.
I
Wow.
love to see it.
A heavy statement.
I like that. I respect it, though.
No,
Hope
certainly.
so.
Next game, we have Titans versus Ravens. You can meet me at the bank. They're at the bank.
Wow.
Yeah, they had the man.
Ravens, Titans. DT, I'm going to make you go first this time. Titans at Ravens. Who you got?
Ravens, they're my lock of the week. Coming off that loss last week on Monday night, I think Harbaugh's going to have these guys ready to go.
Heard you. I'm writing down lock with exclamation point.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens as well. They're gonna get their playoff revenge. They're gonna bounce back after that loss. They're gonna get this one.
Chi.
Very much the opposite. I want to go with the Tennessee Titans. King Henry's gonna keep grinding it out on the ground. He's gonna start finding the end zone, and I'm expecting AJ Brown to bounce back in a big way this week. Only one catch last week, 21 yards, no touchdowns, big drop down the sideline. I understand he had the passing of his brother that he had to deal with.
Week.
Right, he does have to go against the sockless Marcus Peters, which is a matchup I don't really favor for too many offensive personnel. But I got the Titans, man. I like the Titans.
Okay.
Sure.
Tighten up.
They got to tighten up.
They got to tighten up. Peter, talk to me.
Got the Ravens this week, and I think after that loss, a defensive-minded Jim Harbaugh is going to figure out a good game plan to maybe not stop, but keep Derrick Henry out of the end zone as well as they can. I think defense is the key for this game, and if the Ravens defense plays well, they win this game.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time they're playing since the playoff game, or no?
Should be. I mean, they only play once a year, so it should be.
Yeah.
It should be the first.
That just came to my head. If this is the first time they're playing since that playoff game, I'm gonna have to go Ravens. They have to
Take it personal.
This
Yeah,
is
definitely
a huge game.
must-win game for
But
sure.
if
6 and
if
3.
you're
Both teams.
if you're a
Both 6
defense
and
and you're calling out Lamar's plays, how are you expecting to win a football game against
Yeah,
a good
I
team?
saw that. What do you guys think about that? Be quick about it though. But what do you think about that?
I mean, when you run the read option in the NFL, they're gonna figure it out.
Right.
Right.
I mean, it's not designed for that.
Yeah, it's simple as that.
Yeah.
There's one of two things you could do, sometimes three.
Yeah.
Heard you.
Well, I think it's
And
because,
work backwards.
like we said earlier, the scheme isn't exactly designed just for Lamar in the Ravens offense. So you call something Lamar, they're not really
Bless you.
they're not really disguising things for Lamar like they're doing in Arizona. Like you're seeing a lot of the same stuff week to week when you know Lamar's getting the ball. So I think that's kind of what plays into how defenses are picking up on set plays for Lamar.
I hear you there. Next game, Eagles at Browns. What y'all got? Eagles at Browns.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road
Yep.
to
Road to
victory.
victory. Fight.
All right.
Yep.
We don't have to go through the whole guy.
Go Birds. We're gonna win this one.
I'm gonna
Gravy
need
on LeBlanc is stealing at least 2 from Baker.
Carson.
That's all I need to hear.
Clean game, 70% completion.
You think
Clean
so?
game.
So you have the Eagles as well, Peter?
I do, as long as
He
Carson
can have a
is-
big game.
With Carson at 70%?
Yeah, and I don't see the rushing game going crazy. I mean, you may see about like 120, 130 as a team, but I think if Carson has a clean game, throws the ball 30, 35 times, I think that's a win.
And he can against his Brown secondary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Browns are very, very generous to the opposing tight ends. So maybe you got Ertz and what's the other guy's name? Big game. Goddard, big game from them.
DTM, who do you have?
Lumberjack.
Who do you have there, DTM?
Birds believe.
It's really hard to go with any team in the NFC East right now. But, I think with Miles
Yeah.
Sanders back, I don't know the status on Alshon. I think he's back too.
Yep.
Both tight ends healthy. Fulgham doing his thing. I think the Birds take this one.
Okay. You guys are making me – I mean, Taj, I know Eagles are your Eagles, but I got to go Cleveland. I think I'm gonna go Cleveland here. They had a very wishy-washy game against Houston. Very wishy-washy game. Very wishy-washy game. But the two-headed snake, they started getting themselves together towards the end. I think that's gonna overpower what the Eagles got going on. No offense, Taj, but
Baker 12 for 20, 132 yards last week.
Baker pathetic. If he comes with that against the Eagles, they ain't winning.
No.
Healthy Chubb, healthy Hunt.
crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's top two, top one.
And they might not be too. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
and they might not be two. They got to be number one. They're number.
They gotta be one.
They're the number one two-headed snake.
I still like the front seven of Philadelphia. I mean,
Absolutely.
And the Browns basically stole Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
What was it? $8 million 1 year.
Yeah.
nothing.
Stole him.
I feel like Kareem Hunt is one of those backs that just gets better as the game goes on.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Great point. I love
I
that.
agree with
Yeah.
that. Mm-hmm.
Like, and especially if you got Chubb just going in, maybe first and second down. I mean, come third and fourth quarter, these linebackers got to be worn out. I feel bad for these Eagles linebackers, what they have set in stone.
They don't got much of a name to them either. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Hot take. Kareem Hunt would be more productive in as it relates to the running and passing catching game than Nick Chubb in the event he was just able to play every down. Like a Dalvin Cook would be more productive than Nick Chubb.
So you're not to really.
I think Kareem Hunt is a more versatile, tougher back.
Okay.
I'd say he's a more versatile back, but I don't think he's a better back.
So
What Nick
trying
Chubb
to
did
say-
last season, he had a year.
Let me get this right.
And
Right.
So you're
Yeah.
trying to say basically if Kareem was just getting RB1 touches,
Right. Send Nick Chubb is no longer in the equation.
it would be a better developmental role than the two-headed snake they have going on.
Yeah.
Next game, Falcons at Saints. What y'all
Wow.
Upset of the week right here.
got?
This is what I got.
yeah, we eating dubs.
Eating Dove.
Jameis is eating dubs.
So we have
Dabo.
Did
Saints.
they announce a starter yet?
Don't be surprised if the Falcons take advantage of no Drew Brees in this one.
so you're going
Is
so
that
you're-
taking
so
advantage,
DTM,
though?
you have Falcons. You have
They airing that thing out now.
This is my upset of the week.
okay.
I'm
Michael
going.
Thomas gonna have his best
see.
game of the season.
Yeah, Jameis can finally see.
I'm going Saints.
I can see clearly now. Hold up. Let me not
Yeah,
start.
exactly.
There's the whole offense, guys. I mean,
Let me
let's be real. Kamara's going to do his thing.
Heard you.
100%.
I gotta go Saints.
Saints.
Next
Where is
game,
that game, Swag? Where is that game?
Saints Dome. Next
In
game.
New Orleans.
The crowd ain't a
Special.
factor.
Something special about
Crowd.
Louisiana.
Crowd is not a factor. Crowd is not a factor. Bengals at Washington. Next
Joey
question.
Bag of
Good
Donuts
ball.
is bouncing back crazy.
Yeah. Sorry to
Joey
say
Bag
it,
of
Steve.
Donuts is bouncing back.
He's gotta
Sorry,
be
football
fed
team.
up. He's got to be fed up. He's going to be throwing that ball around the field to those young receivers.
So you three got
Yeah.
the
Big game for
Bengals.
Burrow.
DTM, who do you have?
In the toilet bowl? Oh, man.
Oh,
I guess I'm going to have to go with Cincinnati in this one. I just
he calls
can't.
it the Banyo Bowl.
I can't take two NFC teams in 1 week.
The Basuda Bowl.
Absolutely not.
Whatever. You know who I'm rocking with. What you rocking
Yeah.
ZO2s? What
What
you
you
rocking
reckon? You too.
All right. Next game. Next question for me. You already know who I'm rocking. I'm there like I'm on the sideline. I'm fitted. So
I'm waiting for you to say it.
Jets at Chargers. We'll get there. We'll get to the fins up. We'll get to the fins up.
I'm waiting, man.
We'll get there. Jets at Chargers. What y'all got? Jets
Chargers.
at Chargers. No.
Chargers
You don't
behind
think-
Kalen Balazs and
If
company.
the Chargers drop this
Jalen
game,
Balaj.
You don't think the New York Jets get their first win for Tommy?
No.
No, because the Jets just cut
Herbert ain't
Kalen.
letting up.
Yeah, he's running angry this week against
He's coming for
statistically the worst defense.
revenge.
Exactly, and against the worst defense in the NFL statistically.
Hey.
I am still a massive supporter of Herbert. I think he's got a great arm. He makes okay decisions for a rookie. I think he's gonna get a win. He needs it. I mean, he needs it really.
Oh, pick. I think.
Chargers. I said Chargers.
Whoa. Was that Kenyon?
Was that a pick or a fumble? That was a fumble.
He was down.
Let's go. Dolphins at Broncos. What y'all got?
Next question: Fins up, but Jerry Jeudy will do his thing against the Miami team. He's trying to put on.
I'm gonna go Fins.
I think the Fins are going to prove there's going to be no doubters after this week. I think they're going to blow out the Broncos.
Blow them out.
Blow the
Miami is the lock of the week. Whatever that line is, hammer the Dolphins.
Heard you.
Hammer. I got Fins as well.
DTM.
Fins up. That defense is so tough. I'm telling you, Cam Wilkins has brought a presence. Shaq Lawson, that secondary. They're going to put Tua in some great situations down the stretch. That defense.
And that special teams, too, got a block last week.
They do. The special teams.
Jakeem Grant, big returns. They've been flipping the field in the right direction.
Dallas at Minnesota. What y'all got?
I think Dalvin's going to be cooking. I think Dalvin's going to be cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dalvin.
Expect another 200-plus scrimmage yard game for him.
Yeah.
200-plus yards from scrimmage from Dalvin.
Vikings by a lot.
What you got, DTM? Talk to me.
Vikings are coming off a short week. I think Stephen A. is going to be crying Monday morning.
I heard you there. All right, next game. Ooh, this is a huge game right here. Green Bay at Indianapolis. What y'all got?
Go, Pack, go.
You see what DTM's got on his hat?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
got Colts here.
Okay.
Oh, let's
Tell me
hear it.
why.
What's
Tell
the
me why.
rationale?
I mean, I think that defense. I think A-Rod's gonna have some problems with that defense. I don't know. I think they're gonna get to him this week. I think the Colts will get to him this week, and a lot of pressure, and it's gonna be tough for him this week.
If Xavier Rhodes is guarding Devontae Adams, it will be a bad thing for Xavier Rhodes. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, he's been getting exposed.
He's going to get exposed.
I think the Colts win this week.
Aaron would love for them to blitz. Aaron would welcome the blitz.
Yeah.
He's
We'll-
that play
we'll see,
extender,
Paulie.
bro. He's that play extender for sure. We already know what DTM has. I'm gonna go with the Pack as well.
Big game from MVS. Big.
He had a huge game last week. He was sliding. It was
Yeah,
like
he's
four
too
That's
fast.
normal, baby.
four catches for like 190 something plus, maybe.
Yeah, 176. I think he had.
That was
Right.
that was crazy. All right, next game. We got two more left. Chiefs at Raiders.
I got the Raiders sweeping.
Woo!
Just win, baby. Just win, baby. They obviously have that offense is figured out as one could have that offense figured out. Derek's gonna they're gonna run, and they're gonna do enough offense to mitigate what that Kansas City offense is capable of. Go Raiders.
Mahomes is going to light them up. 5 touchdowns.
5?
Mhm.
You think you can go for 5? 5 for 5?
Ho.
Taji.
I'm going to go KC.
Peter.
KC, I agree with DTM. 5 touchdowns from Mahomes.
Ooh, I'm gonna lock you in for 5 as well. I'm holding y'all up to these.
And you guys are gonna be sick watching that game.
Last game.
This is a tough one.
Rams at Buccaneers.
Tough one.
It's a Monday
I'm
night
going to Monday night game, 8:15. I'm gonna go TB12 in the Bucks. I think AB is starting to kind of somewhat figure it out. He's only gonna have Himothy. It's only gonna get better with more reps with him. You know how that
no
goes.
doubt. If Jalen is going to shadow Mike Evans, I think AB has a day.
Yeah.
What about that corner or
3-1 was hooping.
3-1 against the Seahawks?
He was balling.
My goodness gracious, that defense was looking mean for sure.
Yeah, against one of the best offense.
But I definitely think I'm gonna go TB12 in the Buck.
Yeah.
What y'all got?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to go Bucks as well.
Because anyone that Jalen's on, you can guarantee that they'll have under 50 yards.
Chief.
After what he
Nice.
did to DK last week was $100 million man.
I still don't think they're as good as you guys say they are week to week.
Yeah,
They're still figuring it out, though. They're
I
still
definitely-
figuring it out.
They laid some.
They're a brand new team.
They got embarrassed by New Orleans.
Does that tell me that you're picking
I'm picking Tom.
Rams,
I'm picking
DTM?
Tom.
I
Or who you-
can't. I just can't. Can't bet against Brady.
I hear you.
Can't do it. It sounds
Yeah,
good on
yeah.
paper, but in practice, it's much different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna do it for this day's episode. As usual, I appreciate you guys coming out, giving me your input. We try to just get better and better for you guys. As an audience, we just want to give you the best content we possibly can. We're lovers of the game, students of the game who might think we know everything, but we just chop it up, call it how we see it. As usual, make sure you guys go follow the Instagram, Swaggy Sports Podcast. Follow the YouTube, Swaggy Sports Podcast. by the end of Saturday, I hope to get out a Twitter account that you guys are going to follow. Appreciate you guys coming with me. Till next time, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.
Go
Yes, sir.
Birds.
Appreciate you, Steve-O. Fins up.
See you guys.